Hello everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Spot Messenger. It is the Gen 3. I've been using this device for just a little over 2.5 years. I picked it up back in the early summer of 2017, and I've been using it on almost all of my hiking adventures since then. It is a really basic GPS device, and depending on what you're looking for out of the device, this could be right up your alley, or you might want to take a pass on it. But diving right into this guy, it is a one-way device, so it will send out messages, and that is it. Pretty basic design. You don't have a lot for buttons and whatnot. So right here, this is the power button on the right on the corner. You have 3 buttons on the bottom. This one and the one on the other side are custom messages. The one in the middle, that is your track button. This one, I like to refer to it as the minor emergency button, and then the SOS is your big emergency button. So what that basically means as far as the buttons go. When you turn it on, it will cycle the lights, and then it'll stop and the power light will blink. When you want to track your activity, you will just push and hold the middle button, and then it'll light up. And then when the GPS picks up a signal like that, it'll start blinking green as well. And then just to turn it off, you push and hold, and it'll blink and then go out. So, and that's all. And when you hit that tracking button, it will it'll track at whatever interval rate you set it at. For me, I have it set for every 10 minutes. So while I'm hiking, backpacking, whatever, every 10 minutes while that's active, it will drop a pin into like my history. Now, the messages. When you're using this device, you can set it up so that all the information from this will go to certain people. So my pins from tracking, that just goes to an online map through their service, and it'll just drop pins for all of that. The custom messages, it'll drop a pin every time I push one of those, but on top of that, those custom messages will go to people that I predetermine. And so for me, it's like, like my loved ones. And the two on the outside right there, they're custom. And what I have set up, just for example, is the one with the check mark. The one with the check mark for me is everything's okay and going fine. Or it's something to that effect. I forget the exact wording. And then the one on the other side, that's the little like chat bubble. For me, that's my at camp message. So I will push that and I'll wait for it to send, and then it'll just be like, hey, everything's good, we're at camp for the night, and that's pretty much it. And then the people that are receiving that, you can choose to send them the message either by phone, which would be a text message, or by email, or by both. It's up to you and to how that person would rather receive your message. And then the minor emergency button, going back to the device itself, so it is hid behind this flap, and so is the SOS button. So there's these hard flaps that stop you from accidentally pushing it. Now, for me, that minor help button is, again, it's a custom message that you can predetermine who it's going to. So for me, it's something to the effect of, hey, I'm not dying, everything's fine, but I do need help. So, basically like anything that'd be like non-life threatening. And then the SOS that's full-on search and rescue. That goes right to the people that are responsible for organizing those efforts. So And that's it. That's your main look at the buttons. That's it. Just those 5 buttons. That's it. Well, 6 with the power button, but pretty simple. Not complicated in any way, shape, or form. Now those buttons you set them up using the company's website, and you go in there and you can add in the people's contact information. You can customize your messages through there. Just do everything through the website to get it all set up. Now, what we have going on with the rest of this thing, so it comes with this sling and this carabiner. And the carabiner is not permanently attached. It moves on there freely, so you can take it off if you'd like to. And then to take the strap off, you just Velcro. But you don't have to take it off. You can just kind of leave it on there, but it'll give you access to your panel for the batteries. But I will take that off of there. So that's your access panel for the batteries. There are these 2 screws, which if I can get the camera to focus, there are these little, hold on a second, sorry. There are these little handheld parts to it that act as just like little finger grabs, so you can twist it off. It is powered by 4 AAA batteries, and they do have recommended batteries that they suggest, and you can use those, which I do sometimes, but I also use a rechargeable version of those batteries, and currently I'm using the Energizer brand. I haven't had any issue using a better quality rechargeable battery. I've been on 3-day trips, which is the longest backpacking trip I've taken to date, and I've not had any battery issue with this. It stays strong, and it sends everything the way I need it to. Then on the back, there's this little rubber piece right here that pops off, and it is a micro USB. That port, it will allow you to power this device when the batteries are dead. The only drawback is it will not charge your batteries. It'll only power the device. So it's nice that you can still run it when the batteries are dead, but the drawback is you'd have to leave the battery bank hooked up to it the whole time if you're actively tracking with it. But yeah, that's just a really quick look at this guy. It is marketed as water resistant. I have not had any trouble using this in the water, like in rainy situations. I've not had it exposed during a full downpour. I usually put it in like a plastic bag, like a Ziploc or something to that effect, if it's raining that heavily. But normally it is just kind of hanging on my shoulder strap, or just like maybe on like the top of my backpack. I usually don't worry too much about it. It's been pretty rugged. It's been knocked around quite a bit, and I mean, it still looks in really good shape. Aside from like the indicators on the buttons getting worn down, yeah, no real issues with this guy. Even like this little rubber piece on the back that covers the micro USB, it still sits in there pretty firmly. Yeah, not too much else to say. It's just a nice, solid little device. Now, I will take you guys and give you a quick look at the website, just so you can kind of see what that's all about as well. But really, as far as pros and cons go for this thing, that's the only real con I have is that you can't charge your rechargeable batteries while they're in the device. I wish you could. I know that would most likely add a little bit more weight and bulk to this device, but I think if this thing had the ability to charge the batteries in it, it'd be like perfect for me anyway. And when I do decide to upgrade from this to something different, I can tell you that is going to be the big thing I look for. I'm going to look for something that can be recharged with a power bank. But like I said, my current trips, the current length of my trips, this is fine. But longer trips, or like even like a through hike situation, this would probably become a little bit annoying to deal with. But other than that, I love this thing. I highly recommend it for anyone that doesn't want anything crazy for a GPS device. It's been great, and it's gonna stay in the family. So hopefully that helps. But anyone that's interested, I'm gonna pop over to the website now and just let you take a look at that. Okay, so here is Spot's website, and you can see here you have like your basic things where you can check your settings, your device, like anything for your account. It's pretty easy to navigate. Then if you click on the maps, I already set it up to show you guys, but if you click on the map, it's going to pop open a new window. And then you get to see this. This is your history mode. This is actually the first I've used their new upgraded map screen. And I know the old one, you could only go back so far. Depending on your plan, it only lets you look so many hikes back, or so many GPS tags back. But this one right here is the Stoke State Forest. This was my most recent hike that I shared, and all of these pins, these are the ones that I drop when I push one of the buttons on my device. So here's where I started and ended, and I went in this direction, and each one you can see the times as they go. I'm not sure why that little window's stuck there. And if you click on it, it'll give you like more details. I believe it does an animation as well if you hit the play option. So you can kind of see it's bouncing from one to the next now. Yeah, it doesn't do like any interesting like 3D animation or anything like that. But yeah, and I ended the hike here, but this is still where I pushed the button at the end, just kind of like my last check-in to let everyone know that, you know, I was doing okay. But yeah, that's it. And then if I want to come over here, I can go to the calendar option, and it'll pop. Oh, it was already popped open, but it dropped down here. You can go to today's date. If you click on the first window and say, I'll go back to like December, and hit done, and then go to show, and it should have showed a few more hikes than that. Oh, wait a minute. I probably have to pick a date in December. There we go. So here it shows a few more hikes, and it actually shows like a line between the hikes. Skinny G Panda, she uses this on her solo hikes when I'm not there. So her and Kurt, they did a hike at the Black Rock Forest in New York, and this was the map out of their hike. Right here is the parking area. And then I believe my Neversink hike is up here as well. Yeah, so right here was my hike in the Neversink Gorge area of New York. So just pretty much came straight down. Anyone that watched that video, the red trail that I missed, that was this right here. So this was the trail that has some of the waterfalls on it, and there's some waterfalls down here. But yeah. And I believe that's as far back as I can go right now. And your map, you can show different things with it. I have it showing terrain, which is why you can see the elevation marks like right here. So it's showing elevation, but you can have it display your hike or your track with a with a satellite image or a street map style view. So you have three options to view your hikes in. Now, if you go to your live tracking, the information, that's what people will see that are following you. So, like I said before, anyone that you give your password to, they can track you while you're actively using the device. But yeah, and that's it. And they'll see, oh, those people, they will see your they'll see these check-in marks, but when they look at their map, they should also see your automatic pins. So for me, my device is set up to pin every 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, it's going to drop a ping down, and it's going to show my last location at that time. All right. But yeah, that's it for the website. The account stuff, there's more things that you could go into. When you scroll down here to your device, it'll show you your tracking options, such as like the 10 minutes. You can set things up to show up on different social networks automatically if you're allowing people to follow you that way. And I'm not going to scroll down anymore, but if you scroll down beyond this, that's where you can set up your personal messages. So my custom messages, I go there to set them up, and it's also where I get to put in the information of the people that I would like to be able to find me or follow me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a little quick look at their website.